On to our next story. There are quite a few ruffled feathers in Hollywood today. Quentin Tarantino recently opened up on the Bret Easton Ellis podcast. Who the heck is that? Who knows? But he said he revealed who he thinks are the weakest actors in the biz. Paul Dano, Matthew Lillard, and Owen Wilson. What the what? He called Dano a, quote, weak, uninteresting guy who almost ruined the movie There Will Be Blood. He also called Lillard and Wilson actors he just doesn't care for. So was Tarantino out of line, or do people just need maybe a little bit of a thicker skin to criticism?
Interesting.
Thicker skin.
Okay, we got one lady. I think
skin.
he was out of line. I think it was also punching down. Like, I think if it's one thing if like Matthew Lillard or like Paul Dano were trying out for a role in one of his movies, and then he privately said, "Listen, like to be honest, I just don't feel you're acting," and maybe that could be a teachable moment. They could talk about why or why not. But to
not after this.
No, but to shout it out on a podcast, I just feel like that's going to be something that haunts these actors in their mind, and they'll be wandering around, and then they'll just suddenly hear. I think it can impact you.
I kind of love it. I kind of found it refreshing, and I totally disagree with him. But I love that he said it, and I do think in Paul Dano's situation, he's going to be just fine. There were so many stars coming out of the woodwork this weekend, just singing his praises. So I think he'll be fine. And I also feel like this kind of tit for tat, this spicy dialogue in art, if we want to call it that, and yeah, heck, I think we should call movies art, it kind of can make for better art. Do you know what I mean? Or at least historically so. There was like this story, Orson Welles, you guys heard of that guy?
Yeah.
Directed Citizen Kane, starred in it as well. He used to publicly criticize this other director named William Wyler and sort of said, everything William Wyler makes is commercial garbage. That lit a you-know-what, I can save fire.
Yep.
Under you-know-what, which I can't say, under Williams, you-know-what. And William Wyler, the next year, or maybe the year after, he makes Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur wins 11 Oscars.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like that public dialogue.
I also think it's rich that we are getting so up in arms and we're clutching our pearls over what he said. First of all, let's remember, Tarantino was asked the question.
True.
Who do you think is the weakest? So he gave an answer. It's not like he decided to start a podcast. Here are the actors that I hate.
Yeah.
So I think we have to keep that in mind.
That's a
and
good
let's
point.
think about how many times Tarantino has been criticized. How many times some critic has panned his movie as the worst thing ever, how many Rotten Tomatoes, and no one really thinks about it. It comes with the territory when you put out art, and he is an artist who would know.
It's subjective. Like, it's so
Exactly.
subjective.
Yeah,
Right?
but it
In
creates
life-
a dialogue.
But I think it's important for us to just accept it, because in life, here's the hard truth. Not everybody's gonna like you.
Sure.
Somebody thinks you're great, and somebody can't stand you, and that's what it is. And what I like about this is that at least those two actors or three actors know exactly where they stand with Tarantino.
Yeah.
There's no like, well, maybe if I reach out and send him some flowers. No, don't do that. He's already said he's not feeling it, and that's okay. It's okay for people not to like you.
And I want to jump on that, because bringing these 2 points together, the idea of punching down, which is Tarantino's a director, he has a lot of power in the industry. A lot of people listen to what he says, and maybe you would argue these actors don't have the same amount of power, but also it reminds me, just because somebody's your boss or they have a bigger paycheck than you, doesn't mean they know what they're doing. So what I'm saying about that, bring in the level of art, right? I had a boss who told me when I was in the industry, I'm gonna become nameless and faceless in television.
Wow.
And you know what I say to her? Look at me now.
And that's just her stupid opinion.
Stupid opinion.
But she had a lot of power over my career. She had a lot of power.
So she thought.
So she thought, exactly. So they don't always know what they're doing, okay?